I'm Mia. I'm Melissa. Sophia Soto at Temple of Geek. How are you guys today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. It's so good to see both of you, and congratulations on the incredible series. I got to watch some of it, and as always, you guys are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, of course. So the first thing I want to ask you is obviously the two of you have experience in the YA genre before with The Wilds and One of Us is Lying, which I covered both, and they both ended too soon. But fans
Thank
loved your work in that, right? Like we're all still talking about it. Fans love your work and your performance and your characters so much in those projects that they're continuing to follow you in your careers for other projects like Motorheads. So I'm going to ask, what does that mean to each of you, and why do you think YA shows are like so special to audiences? Because I still love my YA shows growing
you.
up, and I love those that I got to cover, and it's just a special genre in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about I think being a teenager and just like being a young adult is like the literally the toughest period of almost everyone's lives. And I think just seeing every type of like person represented in that, it makes it kind of feels like a hug. You feel less alone seeing these stories happen to characters. It makes you feel less like a crazy teenager.
Yeah, I mean, the same. Like those coming of age stories and that time of our lives is such a whirlwind. And it's amazing to be able to dive into something where you can see yourself reflected. And yeah, the support just means everything. And I'm so grateful for this genre and these people and this space. Like it's been such a amazing journey, and I'm super grateful.
If the two of you were watching Motorheads growing up during that coming of age time in your own lives, what do you think would be your favorite thing about your characters?
Ooh.
Oh, I feel Caitlyn's just like a lover through and through. Like something that I didn't have as a teenager that I love about Caitlyn is she sort of like sees a challenge and thrives in it. Where I think as a teenager, I probably would have just like freaked out and like had an anxiety attack. So I love sort of her strength despite.
Uh, I feel like as a teenager, I would have watched Alicia and been so impressed with her sort of mystique, I guess you could say. I feel like I was definitely more impulsive and kind of just wore my heart on my sleeve. And I don't know, I kind of love how Alicia's like thinker, and she's quite sensitive and introspective. And I would have loved that about her. I probably would have tried to be more like her.
But I loved both your characters like immediately. And that's, listen, I loved both of you, but I loved both of your characters as well. So it was so awesome to see you two in new roles. And obviously, from like the first episode, without getting into spoilers, I feel like both of your characters set up really nicely for specific ships.
Mhm.
And you know I'm a ship girl, so I gotta ask the two of you, when you are joining a project or when you're watching a show, what is it about a ship that like gets you on board? What is it about a relationship that it needs to have in order for you to ship it, especially if your characters are involved?
I feel like there has to be something about like there has to be like a something has to be wrong. Like I love a ship where it's like she really should be with that person, but really kind of shouldn't. Like that shouldn't they sort of dynamic. I love, and I also love a triangle. I used to love watching the Vampire Diaries, and like the most iconic love triangle like ever. That's very important to me. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's the like forbidden
Mhm.
aspect. There's always like a forbidden, there's always a problem, and it's so juicy to like consume. And yeah, like Vampire Diaries, I was a big like Teen Wolf kid, and like that was like interdynamic crazy. I think it's the like, yeah, what Mia said, the like will they, won't they? There's always like drama and problems, and it's fun to watch and it's fun to act.
Yeah.
Well, now that you brought that up, we have so many more questions, but I do have to ask you before we move on, which teams were you? What were we feeling for Vampire Diaries and Teen Wolf? What were we?
Okay, this is so controversial. I was real team Stefan. I know. It's so wait, really? You too?
Totally.
I don't think it's as controversial as you think anymore.
Okay, I'm really happy to hear that because for a minute there, I thought if I would ever say that, I'd get into a
When
lot
you
of
were in the trenches, it felt like it was controversial. I know that feeling, but I think it's
Yeah. I was a Stydia truther.
as you
Like,
should be.
yeah, like it took so long for anything to truly happen, but like I think that's what kept me watching the show. It was the like will they, won't they? And like I think it took like 4 seasons, but I was sad.
Oh, the slow burns of our YA years.
love a slow burn.
Right? Listen, we all made it. We're all here and we're all laughing about it now. When it comes to your individual characters, were there any firsts you experienced through playing them? Maybe a different thing for acting, a first for acting, or your first time exploring a certain storyline, trope, anything like that that comes to mind for a first?
I learned I didn't know anything about cars. Like I like it was a lot of firsts in the sense that like I as Melissa just I don't even have my license. So it's funny that I was playing like this like super like savvy car girl because I could not be more the opposite. So I think like that was my biggest challenge and it was a first to like even be behind the wheel basically.
That must be a good feeling.
That's so funny because I remember there was a day that we were filming Melissa, and I remember being like, I feel so bad for you. I don't know how you're doing this. Like the car lingo, like all of the like engine talk. How are you remembering this?
Probably first in the sense that like I think there's it's a thing throughout the season because she's a car girl. I would have a lot of like almost mini monologues where I was sort of just listing off like 10 different parts. And the thing about cars is like there is a particular order because it all connects in a certain way. So I really had to like I couldn't like flip two different parts. Like it was really particular. So I think that that was another first. It was me having to list off a lot of car parts and get it right.
It'll come in handy one day. One day. Yeah, what about you?
I hope so.
You one day.
For me, I guess this is kind of like kind of the first sort of love triangle I've ever really kind of played. I think I'm just thinking now, I'm like, yeah, I think this is the first time I've played in a love triangle with two guys. So that was
fun as you hoped, as your YA self hoped.
I have to admit, like there was also something so fun about just playing like in high school, like at the locker. Like I just always wanted to do that. Like I always wanted to like be in an American high school, like wearing my like own clothes and like going to the locker. Like that was just like, for some reason, like in my head, like something a big like career like dream of mine to tick off. So I'm very glad I got to do that.
You didn't do that in the wilds, in your defense.
Yeah,
a lot
of it was on the beach and just sunburn and stuff. So it was kind of nice to be in like makeup. Yeah.
Checked it off the bucket list and we learned some stuff along the way. When you're building a new character, what is the first way you approach understanding them beyond the script? Because I know there's probably so much that goes into it.
Yeah. I like to do a lot of like dream work. And Melissa and I actually have the same acting coach here in New York, Sheila, we do that with. And basically, I'll go to sleep. I'll write myself a note kind of to my higher self, inner self, asking myself for a dream to shine more of a light on my character and what they're going through. And then I kind of wake up, write the dream down immediately and then go through it and kind of try and find ways within my subconscious that are trying to teach, like shine, lights on parts of the character that I might not have been aware of at first and just get a more of her soul, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
Melissa, what about you?
I do a lot of the same dream work. We love Sheila. And then I think something I do with every character is like the playlist. Like sometimes I'll make a character playlist and then I have separate playlists for like the people they interact with. So like I have a Caitlyn and Zach one and like so I'll make multiple playlists. I think mood boards really help. And I like to keep a journal in character and sort of read through a scene and then like journal my thoughts about it. So I kind of have that internal monologue just ready to go for when we shoot it.
what's on top of the playlist? But do you have me? If you have a playlist too, what's on top of the playlist? Number one song for both of you.
Mine was kind of Sky Ferreira, just like Sky Ferreira in general, because it's like it's so teen angst. Like that was the soundtrack when I was a teenager. So it was that Tumblr music.
I love that. I really felt like Alicia's song. I have a playlist for Alicia as well, and I think one of her songs, which is so depressing, but Scott Street by Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh my God. Her
Yeah. That'll get you there. But I really feel like in a lot of ways that song kind of speaks to her, and I also feel like the song "Crashing into the Same Cars" by David Bowie, I feel like is more of a Motorheads song, like for the town. I feel like she listens to that as like just it's more of a good reflection on the story and yeah, where they're from and everything.
That actually did remind me White Mercedes by Charlie XCX because it's the car title, but also the lyrics. Like I used it a lot for one of the relationships on the show. And yeah, that kind of was my soundtrack, I would say.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for your time. Congratulations. I love talking to you guys about your work and congratulations. It was just a pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate you.
So good to see the two of you.
Good to see you.